Hello and welcome to today's League of Legends Roundup, where we're going to cover the games that took place on Worlds, Day 1 of play-ins. Turn the volume up. Obviously, the microphone is not as close to my mouth as it usually is. This is a bit more scuffed because it's going up late at night, this video. So the way I am filming this is clearly very different. It's 2 in the morning. I heard the clock just go off. So thank you for watching, and if you missed the games, this was a very long day. I don't blame you for going to bed early or doing whatever you chose to do instead. Down in the description, you'll see 3 links: Twitter, YouTube memberships, and join the Discord link. I'm going to be all over the place because this video is so late. YouTube, become a YouTube member. $3 supports me. $10 supports me at a higher level. You get extra content, including the video that's going to come out after this one, where I go over my predictions for the games for day 2. I went 4-4 today, which we'll get into in a minute. So if you're interested in that, $10 tier. Follow me on Twitter. Self-explanatory. Join the Discord. There's like 300 of us if you'd like to BS about the games as they go on. So we started off with Mad Lions and Isurus Gaming. Mad Lions would win, but it was not an easy win for them. Grell would go 5, 6, and 9, 39% of Isurus's damage on Graves, which is pretty incredible. We had a lot of big 1v9 performances today, win or loss, out of some varying different players, whether it was small minor regions or larger regions. Saya 3, 2, and 7 with Isurus. The veteran mid laner, performed pretty decently. Niski 8, 4, and 8, 31% of Mad Lions damage. Yoya 7, 2, and 10. So Mad Lions struggled. They struggled in both games, frankly. And there was a long period of time in this first game where there was a chance they could have lost. And it got pretty scary for them. And I'm not going to lie, I was rooting for Isurus to win. I said it yesterday. It would be really cool if the Latin American team opened up the tournament with a win, and it didn't happen. But they put up a good fight. Grell put up a good fight. And Mad Lions, we'll get into it more because they play another game. But they struggled. Fnatic and EG, so Upset ended up playing. Yesterday, after my video was done, I looked up, I went on the Discord and they're like, Upset's playing tomorrow. And I'm like, great, well, I don't re-record my content. So, Fnatic win. Humanoid 2, 1, and 2, 32% of the team's damage on Victor. Upset 6, 0, and 2 at 80 carry. Impact would have the best scoreline of them all on EG, going 0-0-0. He did not die. He did not get a kill. 0 KP. Jojo Pune 1, 3, and 1, 22% of EG's damage. It was definitely a terrible game out of the North American squad. Very disappointing. I picked EG to win under the impression that Bean was going to play. And honestly, I thought Upset would have some jet lag, and it didn't end up happening. And even with jet lag, Vulcan was gapped by Rux to the point where it was just like unbelievable. Vulcan showing once again at an international event that he is outclassed. I really hope tomorrow he shows up because today he did not. Loud and Beyond Gaming. Beyond Gaming, I had Loud winning this one, but Beyond Gaming ended up, really dominating actually. Minji 8, 0, and 11 on LeBlanc, 34% of the team's damage. Wako 3, 0, and 14 at 80 carry for Beyond Gaming. Brant's 1, 3, and 2, 30% of Loud's damage, and Tinone's 1, 4, and 2 in mid lane for the Brazilian squad. Beyond Gaming just dominated. Minji looked like an animal on LeBlanc in a good way, not in a bad way. Just very aggressive and getting triple kills, double kills, pushing people away from Baron, zoning very well. He played a very great game, and honestly, out of what I've seen of him so far, which is very limited, I thought he was not, overly great. I thought his stat lines weren't that good. His laning numbers weren't that great, but he really did some work to Loud. It was a really, really, it was a pretty scary performance. If I'm EG, I'd be worried. If I'm Chief, I'd be worried. DFM, I'd be worried. Beyond Gaming is no slouch. And I should have expected that given it's a PCS squad. Mad Lions and Istanbul Wildcats. Mad Lions would win this one. Unforgiven 14-1-1, 35% of the team's damage. Niski 3-1-10 in mid. Saren for Istanbul Wildcats 6-2-3, 40% of damage. Holy Phoenix 2-2-9 at 80 carry. IW really put up a really, really good fight in this one. Saren, I think he was on an Azir in this one. Yeah, he was. Azir in this one. Silas in the next one. He was really keeping IW in this one for a long time. Niski tried to give it away a little bit. Saren just kept fighting back for Istanbul. And it became a very, very good game. And Unforgiven, 14-1-1. Going into this event, in my bot lane rankings, I said he's in the list of bot laners that need to step it up in this one and prove themselves. And he really did. He really did. So they're 2-0, and maybe this is the wake-up call Mad Lions needed, and they can approach the rest of the event with a level head, having to deal with these two later on. Chief and Fnatic. Fnatic would win. Humanoid 5-3-7, 42% of Fnatic's damage. Upset 9-0-2 on a Kalista, including a pentakill. Yes, he had a pentakill at Worlds. Big moment. And I'll get into something that was interesting afterwards. So Arthur 3-3-2 for Chief. Topun 2-2-1, 29% of damage on Gwen for Chief as they lost. Upset though, his damage was actually not that high. He had very low damage. So when people look back at this game, they're gonna think, oh, the Upset pentakill. He had a penta at Worlds. It was really like cool and this and that. And it's like the game overall, Upset was pretty irrelevant. It's just going to be funny how that, works out in the end. Fnatic now 2-0. They're looking good. They're going to win the group 5-0. It was either EG or them at 5-0, and it's going to be Fnatic. It is what it is, but yeah, like they just crushed Chief. It wasn't close. It really wasn't. Arthur put up a fight for a little while, similar to how Grell did against Mad Lions. You have these minor region junglers trying to 1v9 the best they can, and can only do so much. DFM and Loud upset DFM. Tinones 5-0-11, 29% of the team's damage on Zoe, and then Croc 7-2-4 in the jungle. Yaharung 1-3-2, 45% of DFM's damage on a Talia, I believe. Utapon 1-3-0 for DFM. Loud just dominated this one. Tinones looked disgusting on the Zoe. I think that was one of his champions of note, a lot of people said in the comment section, and I'm really happy that Loud was able to get a win. I had them beating BYG, losing to these guys, and it was flipped, and I'm happy that they're 1-1. I'm happy. CB Low is like that underdog that I'm really rooting just to give their fans something to be happy about. There are too many fans and too many passionate fans in Brazil for the teams to do absolutely crappy at international events. So maybe Loud will change things up for them. 1 second, I'm going to move this mic again. This video is what it is. I didn't want to hold the mic because I feel like, I'm holding a tripod mic right in front of my face, but maybe in the future it might be what I have to do. Saigon Buffalo and Istanbul Wildcats. Saigon Buffalo would win. They pulled out the VCS special. We had a Zach mid. Zach mid. Shogun 8-1-9, 40% of the team's damage on MF. Hazmed 6-2-2 on Gwen in top lane. Saren 4-3-7, 34% of Istanbul Wildcats damage on Silas. Holy Phoenix 8-1-4 on Kesa. IW was up pretty handily in the first 15 minutes. I think Holy Phoenix was 6-1-4 when laning phase ended, because he got a triple kill around Rift Herald and really had an opportunity to get some kills, but he was behind him. Farm Shogun was keeping up, and the VCS played a chaotic game, the game that they need to play, and it's expected of them to play, and that is the wild card with them. When they play bigger, scarier teams, they just make the game a mess when they're behind, and all of a sudden, they're back in it because they keep trading kills, and trading up until they're back in it. And it's hard to find better team fighters than the Vietnamese. It really is. So Saigon Buffalo performing very well. The Zach coming out was fun. I really hope that they can continue that tomorrow. I think they play twice tomorrow. Let me see my sneak peek board. Yeah, twice. So we'll get into that in a minute. DRX and RNG. DRX win. I had RNG winning this one. DRX win. Deft 9-1-6 on a Tristana. Zeka 5-0-8 on an Akali. I don't have the damage numbers up. I'm trying to get this video out. I'm hoping to get to bed by 3 o'clock in the morning, but we'll see. RNG Breathe 4-4-2 on a Jax, and Xiaohu 3-4-2 on a LeBlanc. This game was close. RNG stacked the first couple Drakes, but then at the third Drake fight, they lost pretty big. Deft got a couple kills, and then in every team fight after that, Deft would get a couple kills here, a couple kills there. Oh, Zeka got outplayed a 1v2 after both teams went to Soul Point. He outplayed a 2v1, and got a double kill, and Zeka's now fed. Deft is fed. RNG have no answers, and RNG just lose after that. The Baron gets taken, they drop 2 inhibs, and they allow Pioshik to steal the Baron, the Hextech Drake to go take the Soul outright. A couple more interesting picks in this one. So we had Tristana and Rel for DRX, Neela for RNG, which was not a gala pick in summer, so that was interesting, and they should not do it again. Neela stinks, in my opinion. And then Maokai Jungle. I don't think we had the Maokai Jungle yet. We had the Maokai top lane in this one, but so Maokai was in this one. So we're seeing some interesting picks. We're seeing little glimpses of what the world's meta may be, which is fun. Champions we haven't seen for a while. That is really, really fun. So that's it for the roundup portion of the video. Now onto the sneak peek of the games for Worlds play-ins tomorrow. Okay, now for the sneak peek for tomorrow, we have Fnatic and DFM to start us off. They have never played against each other. I looked back throughout history, and they've never crossed paths, which was a surprise because DFM spent a world so much. Humanoid versus Yaharung is what I want to watch. Humanoid did a lot of work yesterday. Even in the game against EG, he did a lot of work, despite the kill score being the way it was. Yaharung dealt a lot of damage for DFM in their loss to Loud. So I will hope that Yaharung can step it up in this one. EG hopes that they can step it up in this one, so Fnatic can get a loss on their record. I imagine that DFM will give a better showing than they did yesterday. Let's just put it that way. EG and Loud never have played before, obviously. Both teams have not been around all that long in League of Legends. Kaori and Brance are the two players I want to watch. Kaori, young player, very inexperienced at the world stage, as is Brance. So whichever player chooses to step it up is going to be the one that wins the game. Kaori is coming off of a very disappointing performance against Upset. Vulcan needs to really step it up. And Brance is coming off of a big win. His Seraphine stunk, but game 2 he played very well. So, I'm not a fan of any team, but I would hope that EG can step it up. I've said it enough how I feel about North America. But, that's going to be, it should not be like this, right? We should not be worried about this, but worried about it. Saigon Buffalo and Isurus Gaming. You see here they've played before at MSI 2019. Day 1. Sorry, I had a hair. Saigon Buffalo won. Zeros in top lane would go 10-2-3 for. It wasn't Saigon. It was Fang Vu Buffalo at the time. But they won that game, and then they won the next day. Melodius in the jungle on a J4, I believe, went 4-0-13. So throwback there. It's just fun to look at and say, oh, wow, they actually played each other before. Obviously, that was when Saigon Buffalo was under different ownership or different naming, but still. Bean J versus Grell is what we want to watch. Grell being a player that Isurus really relied on in their loss to Mad Lions yesterday. Today. today. Well, actually, technically, it was yesterday by the time this video is being filmed. Bean J needs to keep Grell under control. If he can keep Grell under control, smooth sailing. DFM and Chief, very similar teams. The way they play, very slow, methodical. They have played before at Rift Rivals 2018. Chief would win that one. Ryoma, the former 100 Thieves and Golden Guardians mid laner, went 11, 4, and 12. Steel versus Arthur is what I want to watch. Two LCK import junglers that are very similar in how they carry for their team, deal a lot of damage. High kill share for junglers, high farm, high resource. So they're going to be very similar, and honestly, whoever gets the Graves is going to be the one to watch out for. This may be a Graves versus Hecarim matchup, and whichever jungler lives wins. EG versus Beyond, never played before. Jojo Pune versus Minji is what I want to watch. Minji dominating on the LeBlanc yesterday. Jojo Pune is known to have a decent LeBlanc, so maybe leave it up and Jojo gives it a go. Or he has a counter for Minji. That's going to be a big deal because Jojo needs to step it up after Kaori didn't yesterday. And who knows if Kaori does against Loud. If he doesn't, he's going to have to. Jojo's going to have to against Beyond Gaming. DRX and Saigon Buffalo never played against each other. Deft versus Shogun is what we want to watch. Deft 1v9 for, 2v8. Zeka did very well also, which we'll get into in a minute. Deft kept DRX in the game against RNG and then was able to get them to the late game where Zeka would take over. Shogun had a great MF game, actually, and I was surprised because MF really doesn't feel like a champion for Shogun in the limited looks I've had of him. But he performed, and that's good because, like I mentioned with Unforgiven earlier in this video, Shogun is a player that I feel like needs to take the next step and prove himself after a very good performance on the international stage at MSI in May. If he can do that, that'll be a big deal and make me feel pretty good because, I have him as the 8th ranked AD carry in this tournament. Mad Lions and RNG, last played MSI 2021. The teams would split in the Rumble stage. Day 2, RNG would win. Zhaohu 5-1 and 3 in top lane on a Gnar. And then Rumble stage day 5, Mad Lions would win. Kaiser 0-0 and 15 on a Leona in bot lane. So we're going to watch Elyoya versus Wei, two junglers that have faced off before. It'll be fun. It'll be really fun to watch. Elyoya did very well against Isurus, in my opinion. A very, very impactful game. A high kill game. His KDA was gorgeous. Wei, he's got to drop the Vi. I know he has a high Vi win rate, but Vi stinks. And I think that was a problem against DRX, in the game that just ended. So hopefully RNG adjust and give us a good game tomorrow against Mad. IW and DRX, never played before. Saren versus Zeka is what we want to watch. Saren's going to have to work his ass off if he wants to keep up with Zeka. Zeka played a great Akali game. His Akali is very good. He's one of the better mid laners in this tournament, middle of the road in experience-wise, but his highs are, like we saw against RNG, right? He can be very good if given an opportunity in the right circumstance. And Saren needs to really get it going. We've talked about it before. I think yesterday was a good performance out of him and Holy Phoenix. It's just a matter of getting the other 3 players on board. I really don't... I think that it's pretty self-explanatory what the prediction is for that one, but my predictions will come out in the next video, members only video. So thank you for watching this video. Like the video if you like it. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Join the Discord. Follow me on Twitter. Become a YouTube member. And I will see you tomorrow for Worlds Day 2.